John Deere Model A. When it comes to machines that have left their mark on America's fields, it's impossible not to mention the John Deere Model A, launched in April 1934. The Model A was John Deere's first true row crop tractor, a line of machines that opened a new chapter in the mechanization of American agriculture. From 1934 to 1952, more than 320,000 Model As were produced at the factory in Waterloo, Iowa. With an initial price of only about $1,150 in the late 1930s, it became a reliable choice for tens of thousands of farmers from Ohio to Texas. In a time when land was vast but labor tools were limited, the Model A was more than just a machine, it was a companion, a steel hand in the windy and sunny fields. The Model A was powered by a 321 cubic inch, two-cylinder engine. With an average power output of 26 belt horsepower and 18 drawbar horsepower, this was an impressive figure for the time, enough to pull a plow, pull a thresher, or even haul crops over miles of red dirt. The transmission initially had 4 speeds, and from 1941 onwards it was upgraded to 6 speeds, giving farmers more speed options to suit a variety of farm tasks. Another major breakthrough, the Model A was one of the first American tractors to come with factory-installed rubber tires, instead of barbed wire. The hydraulic lift system and rear PTO, drive shaft, made it easy to connect the Model A to cultivators, mowers, and sprayers, increasing its versatility at a time when all implements needed to be powered by mechanical traction. In fact, the Model A was a symbol of durability. Whether it was farming corn in Illinois or plowing clay in Kentucky, it was reliable, easy to maintain, easy to repair, and parts were readily available, even today. Today, the John Deere Model A is more than just a tractor, it's an American legacy. Vintage fairs and shows across the country, from Iowa to Pennsylvania, still feature the Model A, shining, roaring, as if reminiscing about a bygone era. Gray-haired men who drove Model As boys on their family farms now restore the machines as a way to connect with their fathers and their childhood memories. With restored tractors fetching anywhere from $2,500 to $8,000, depending on the Model A remains one of the most collectible and beloved tractors. The John Deere Model A is a testament to the philosophy, built to be used to be treasured. In its more than 90 years, it has not only changed the way Americans farm, but has also become part of the American rural soul. With its simple design, reliable power, and long service life, it has deservedly been called the most reliable American tractor of all time. Farmall H. In the midst of the Great Depression, International Harvester introduced a machine that would change the face of farming for hundreds of thousands of small farms, the Farmall Model H. Introduced in 1939. The Model H was a mid-range row crop tractor, ideal for family farms. With more than 390,000 produced by 1953, the Farmall H was one of the most produced tractors in American history. When it was first introduced, it retailed for about $850, and by the early 1950s, it had risen to about $1,650, a significant investment. But many farmers believed they were buying a machine that would last for decades. The Farmall H was more than just a machine, it was the promise of a future less dependent on horses, bringing farmers closer to the modern age of mechanization. The Farmall H was equipped with a 152 cubic inch, liquid-cooled, 4-cylinder engine. Average power ratings were 24 horsepower at the drawbar and 26 horsepower at the PTO, power shaft, enough to pull a double-bladed plow, drive a mower, or operate a rudimentary harvester. The transmission had 5 forward and 1 reverse speeds, making it easy for the operator to adapt to each type of work. The Farmall H was also one of the first tractors to feature the lift-all hydraulic system, allowing for efficient lifting and lowering of attachments, a major innovation at the time. Another notable feature is the tricycle front-wheel design, which allows the tractor to maneuver extremely flexibly between rows of corn or cotton, a major advantage in narrow fields, when turning around without damaging the crop. At about 3,875 pounds, this tractor is sturdy but not so heavy that it affects the ground, a big plus for farming in the Midwest and South. Today, for many people over 65, the Farmall H is more than just a memory, it is a part of life. Many learn to drive a tractor for the first time on a Farmall H, hearing the engine roar, feeling the authentic vibrations through the unassisted steel steering wheel. Easy to restore, with a wide range of parts and a large enthusiast community, the Farmall H is one of the most collected models at agricultural fairs and antique tractor shows in the U.S. The value of a restored tractor can range from $3,000 to over $10,000, depending on condition and originality. But perhaps the real value lies not in that number. It lies in the legacy of reliability, in the bountiful harvests, and in the hearts of generations of Americans who built this country with their own hands. The Farmall Model H symbolizes a time of transition, from plow to wheel, from horsepower to engine power. It is not flashy, it does not need many amenities, but it is durable, easy to repair, and always ready to work, day in and day out. To me, and perhaps to many of you listening, the Farmall H will always be one of the most reliable tractors America has ever built. Ford 8N. When it comes to machines that changed the face of American agriculture, the Ford 8N is always the first name that comes to mind. Launched in July 1947, this tractor was the direct successor to the Ford 9N and 2N, but the 8N was not simply an upgrade, it was a leap forward. With more than 524,000 units produced within 5 years, until 1952, the Ford 8N became the best-selling tractor in American history at that time. The price when it was first launched ranged from $1,100 to $1,400 US, a worthy investment for farmers who were eager to change their lives after World War II. The Ford 8N symbolized an America in transition, from traditional farming to mechanization, from horsepower to machine power, with efficiency, power, and reliability that everyone could trust. The Ford 8N was equipped with a 4-cylinder, 120 cubic inch gasoline engine, producing about 23 to 27 horsepower. That was enough for most farm work, from plowing, pulling harvesters, to operating sprayers and mowers. One of the biggest breakthroughs of the Ford 8N was the 4-speed transmission, an improvement over the 3-speed of the previous generation, allowing the operator to have better control in all situations. In addition, the 3-point hydraulic hitch system, in collaboration with engineer Harry Ferguson, made the Ford 8N stand out for its flexibility and efficiency when connecting accompanying equipment. A 10-gallon fuel tank, 5-gallon hydraulics, and a weight of about 2,500 pounds helped this machine maintain a great balance of power and lightness needed for small to medium-sized fields. A simple steering system, an easy-to-use gearshift, split brakes on the rear wheels, all designed for the farmer, so he could use the machine day in and day out without the need for advanced technology or special equipment. Today, the Ford 8N is more than just a machine, it is a living relic of American agricultural history. At vintage fairs, country festivals, and tractor-lover gatherings, the Ford 8N is still treasured, not just for its popularity, but for its association with a time of hope. Restored Ford 8Ns today range from $2,500 to more than $5,000, depending on condition, originality, and accessories. But for those who grew up with it, what's more valuable is the feeling, the deep, steady hum of the engine, the polished wooden gearshift, and the familiar smell of oil on your dad's sleeve. With easy-to-find parts, a large enthusiast community, and a reputation for reliability, the Ford 8N is one of the most collectible and easily restored tractors on the market today. The Ford 8N doesn't need electronic displays or digital sensors. It doesn't have an air-conditioned cab or an autopilot. But in the hearts of hundreds of thousands of Americans, it has something more important: faith. Faith that all you have to do is fill up the gas tank, turn the key, and the tractor will keep working, just as it has for more than 75 years. With its durability, simple design, and significant contributions to the modernization of agriculture, the Ford 8N deserves to be honored as one of the most reliable American tractors of all time. Allis-Chalmers WD45. Introduced in 1953, the Allis-Chalmers WD45 marked a major step forward in the American mid-sized row crop tractor. It was a direct successor to the popular WD series, but the WD45 was more than just an upgrade. It represented the transformation of American agriculture after World War II. Manufactured in West Allis, Wisconsin, the WD45 was the most powerful tractor Allis-Chalmers had ever produced. Over its 4 years of production, more than 90,000 were built, including both gasoline and diesel versions. The new price was around $2,400, a significant sum at the time, but it was worth the price: power, utility, and reliability. The WD45 represented a time when American farmers wanted more, a machine that not only worked well, but could handle heavier work faster and more efficiently. The heart of the WD45 was a 226 cubic inch 4-cylinder engine in the gasoline version, or a 230 CI diesel with the Buddha engine in the diesel version, delivering up to 39.5 horsepower at the drawbar and 44 horsepower at the belt pulley. Those were very impressive numbers for the segment at the time. One of the most notable innovations was the power steering, introduced in 1956, making it easier for the operator to maneuver, especially when pulling heavy equipment or turning on wet ground. The WD45 retains the durable and easy-to-maintain 4-speed mechanical transmission, but is assisted by a snap-coupler hydraulic system, allowing quick connection of the rear implements, saving time and effort. With a 15-gallon fuel tank, the WD45 can operate continuously all day long without refueling. Whether plowing 4 blades, pulling a thresher, or deep tilling, the WD45 provides smooth, reliable operation and saves farmers time. Today, the Allis-Chalmers WD45 remains a beloved favorite among vintage tractor enthusiasts. It is more than just a work tool, it is a symbol of strength and innovation, associated with generations of American farmers. Restored values today range from $2,500 to over $6,000, depending on condition and originality. But for those who have driven a WD45, the most valuable thing is not the number, it's the feeling of turning the key, the engine roaring, and the dirt rolling behind it on a warm spring morning. Thanks to the large number of machines produced, WD45s are still available for spare parts, are easy to restore, and are especially prized at vintage tractor shows across the Midwest and South. The Allis-Chalmers WD45 is not a flashy machine, but it is a symbol of reliability, performance, and a pioneering vision for agricultural mechanization. It doesn't just get the job done, it does it with the confidence that, when you go out into the field tomorrow, the WD45 will still start, still roar, and still go to work, just as it has for over 70 years. That's why, to me, and probably to many of you watching, the Allis-Chalmers WD45 is one of the most reliable American tractors of all time. John Deere 4020. In the mid-1960s, as America was on the cusp of mechanized farming, John Deere introduced a tractor that was not only powerful, but also a game-changer, the John Deere 4020. Produced from 1963 to 1972, the 4020 was no ordinary machine. It was the flagship of John Deere's new generation line, offering greater performance, greater comfort, and unprecedented reliability. With more than 184,000 units produced, it is one of the best-selling tractors in the company's history. In 1972, the 4020 retailed for around $10,000, a huge sum at the time, but for hundreds of thousands of farmers, it was a sound investment. They weren't just buying a machine, they were buying peace of mind on every acre. The 4020 didn't just make an appearance, it redefined the standard for American tractors, powerful, durable, and serving farmers for decades. The John Deere 4020 was powered by a 404 cubic inch, 6-cylinder diesel engine that produced about 95 horsepower at the PTO and nearly 84 horsepower at the drawbar. This was a power level that outpaced most of its contemporaries. The machine used an 8-speed synchro-range transmission as standard and an optional power shift transmission that allowed smooth shifting on the fly, a rarity at the time. For farmers, this meant more efficiency, fewer interruptions, and easier handling throughout the long workday. Power steering and wet disc brakes provide precise control, while high-pressure center hydraulics provide nearly 3,800 pounds of lifting capacity, allowing quick connection to tillage, spraying, harvesting, and more. Since 1969, the 4020 has offered optional 4WD front assist, providing increased traction when working on slippery, wet, or difficult terrain. Some versions also feature an enclosed cab with heating and air conditioning, a rare amenity on tractors of the era. In the field, the 4020 is powerful enough to plow a 5-blade plow, pull a combine, compost mixer, or large sprayer without difficulty. Whether working in an Iowa cornfield or a Texas prairie, the 4020 has proven that it was built to work, and to do it well. Today, more than half a century after it rolled off the assembly line, the John Deere 4020 is still plowing America's fields. Not just because it's durable, but because it's tied to memories, to trust, and to family tradition. Anyone who has driven a 4020 will never forget the smooth start, the steady rumble, and the solid traction underfoot. It's no wonder it's considered one of the most restored and collectible vintage tractors in the United States. A well-restored 4020 can now sell for anywhere from $7,000 to $15,000, or even more if it includes a full cab or original equipment. But for owners, sentimental value often outweighs material value. The John Deere 4020 is more than just a tractor. It's the American farmer's companion throughout his or her journey. With its formidable power, superior handling, and easy-to-use design, it has been, and continues to be, a part of the American agricultural success story. In the list of the most reliable tractors of all time, the 4020 always has a worthy place. From the John Deere Model A to the John Deere 4020, from the mighty Farmall H, the durable Ford 8N, to the mighty Allis-Chalmers WD45. These are not only the most reliable tractors of all time, but also a living piece of American agricultural history. If you have driven one of them, leave a comment and share your story. Don't forget to like if you find the video meaningful, and subscribe to the channel to continue our journey of discovering the machines that made America. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.